Welcome to this explainer. China's tax system usually gets a bad rap as this giant, intimidating maze of bureaucracy. But hidden right there within that framework are some highly specific, really strategic incentives designed to attract everyone from weekend visitors to massive corporate entities. And today, we are completely decoding those policies.
So, let's kick things off with a pretty huge question. Whether you're just a tourist picking up souvenirs, an expat teaching in a vibrant city, or an executive looking at the global market, are you accidentally leaving your money behind? Because substantial financial benefits are frequently ignored simply because people just don't know the mechanisms to claim them. To make sure you maximize those benefits, we're going to break this explainer down into three main paths today: touring China for departure refunds, working in China for expat benefits, and investing in China for corporate tax credits. All right, let's jump right into part one, touring China and securing those departure refunds.
The barrier to entry here is actually incredibly low. To trigger a refund, you literally just need to purchase tax-refundable goods in the exact same store on the exact same day and hit a total of 200 yuan. To put that into perspective, that's roughly just under $30. That's it.
But hold on, hitting that 200 yuan mark is really just step one. To actually claim that cash back at the airport, you've got to play by a few strict rules. First off, your goods must remain completely unused. So definitely resist the urge to wear that cool new jacket around Beijing. You also have to depart within 90 days of the purchase. And crucially, you have to physically take the items out of the country with you, either in your hands or right there in your checked luggage.
Moving right along to part two, working in China and navigating those expat benefits.
Now, if you transition from just visiting to actually becoming an active participant in the economy, your official status changes. Once you hit the magic 183-day mark of living in China within a single year, boom, you are officially classified as a tax resident. And that means you are now legally on the hook to complete an annual individual income tax settlement.
But hey, being a tax resident actually unlocks some pretty fantastic everyday perks. Your housing allowance, meal stipends, relocation costs, and get this, even your laundry expenses can be entirely tax exempt. Seriously. But there is a catch here. These only qualify if your employer provides them in a non-cash form, or if they reimburse your actual documented receipts. Direct cash handed to you, yeah, that doesn't count. So once you qualify as a tax resident, you're basically facing a strategic fork in the road. You have to make a choice between claiming special additional deductions or opting for the tax-exempt allowance policy, which is designed specifically for foreign workers.
Now, this is where you really got to do your math because you absolutely cannot use both of these policies at the same time. No way. You have to pick one lane, and once you make that choice, you are completely locked in for the entire tax year. There is absolutely no pivoting mid-year, so you have to weigh your options carefully.
And finally, let's jump into part three, investing in China and leveraging corporate tax credits.
For corporate entities and overseas investors, both the stakes and the rewards are significantly higher here. If you're planning to directly reinvest your profits back into eligible domestic investments within China, well, you are currently operating in a very strict 4-year window. The eligibility opens up on January 1st, 2025, and it definitively shuts down on December 31st, 2028.
And the massive financial incentive here is a tax credit equal to 10% of your total reinvestment amount. Remember, this isn't just a tax deduction. This is a direct credit applied straight against your tax payable for the current year. When you're dealing with large-scale corporate investments, a 10% direct credit is an absolute game changer for your bottom line. Now you might be wondering, what happens if that 10% credit is actually larger than your current tax bill? Well, don't worry, the policy makes sure you don't lose that value. Any remaining credit can be safely carried forward into future years to offset upcoming tax liabilities. So it's basically money in the bank.
There is one super important caveat to keep in mind regarding international agreements, though. If your home country happens to have a tax treaty with China that dictates a dividend tax rate lower than 10%, well, that lower treaty rate might actually supersede this policy. So it always pays to check your local treaties.
We've really covered the whole spectrum today, haven't we? Everything from a simple 200 yuan tourist refund all the way up to massive corporate reinvestment credits. As you can see, China's tax system is way more than just a dry set of rules. It's a strategic map of incentives. So the question isn't just about avoiding taxes anymore. It's really about asking yourself, how is your current international strategy leaving valuable incentives unclaimed? Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and I hope this helps you out on your next trip.